Hey, fatty! I'm going to put on a clinic in how to lose weight counting calories today. So whether somebody's counting calories or not, if they're slim, there's a calorie count. Okay, there's a calorie count. There's always a calorie count. Okay, people will say, oh, I don't count calories. Yeah, so if you're not counting calories, either you're a fat ass or you're eating in a way intuitively that you're holding a calorie count that's low enough that you're staying slim. There's just no magic. Okay, the calorie count will always be directly related to your body weight. Directly related to your body weight and how much energy you're burning on the day. Always. So how do you even start losing weight counting calories? You got to count the calories. Okay, you need to count the calories. Accurately, precision calorie counting. Okay, don't even worry about the weight loss at the start. Just count every single calorie you put in your mouth. Every single calorie with precision. Okay, precision. How do you do that? Okay, you're super fat. Don't eat anything that you can't count accurately. Okay, don't rely on your stupid MyFitnessPal apps and shit either. Because that's still, there's a bunch of room for error. If you're eating foods, you gotta weigh and you gotta go by the cooked weight, the weight, like, man. The easiest way to do this is packaged goods. Canned goods and packaged goods. That's how you start. You need to count the calories accurately. Most of the women that you see that are slim, even if they aren't counting calories now, they counted calories at some time, especially if they've lost weight. And that's how they intuitively eat now. Because when you count the calories long enough, you can literally eyeball it. You can literally eyeball it. How many of you have actually counted the calories strict for even 30 days in a row? Nobody. Nobody. So to do it accurately, you want to eat foods that you can count with perfect precision. Don't rely on your stupid ass app. Because if you're punching something in the app, it's still on you. The error is still on you. So if you're trying to weigh out and measure shit out and you're guessing and you're just slapping it in your app and it's spitting out some number, you can't trust it. Packaged goods. Packaged goods. You fat pig. Now, can you utilize things oh, I can't even say that. Can you utilize things to pull the calories down during the day, like intermittent fasting and such? Yeah. But it's all about the calories on the year, okay? There's going to be people, when we talk about when fasting comes into the conversation, how many days of the year are you actually hitting a 0-calorie day on a fast? Like none. Okay, even if you were literally hitting 0-calorie days for 60 days out of the year, you still got like 300 days where you had to eat something. So if you're eating it way in a surplus on those days, there's no way you're keeping weight off. You're just a yo-yo dieter. You need to count the calories to start with. To start with, seriously, just counting the calories accurately is going to make you eat way less food. It's going to make you eat way less. Just counting them. Okay, fat people don't count shit. There's no accountability. Just counting them will make you eat less. Okay? Eat whatever you want. If you can count it accurately, you're doing good. And then once you can count your food accurately, so you trust that you ate exactly this many calories today. Whatever the number is, maybe you were actually in a surplus, but you counted it still. Exact. Which I guarantee you won't ever be in a surplus when you're counting the food. You won't let yourself overeat that much. You just won't let it happen because the count is in front of you. You need to start counting the calories with extreme accuracy. Extreme accuracy. And obviously when we're pulling the calories through the floor, that's when the salts come into play. The electrolyte salts. Because you're not going to be hitting all your electrolytes on low calorie counts. Now, so let's say, okay, I'm counting the calories accurately for a string of days, 30 days, 60 days. You know damn well you're only going to have to count the calories accurately at the start before you start actually pulling the number down. So you just start counting it. How do you do it? Like I say, packaged goods. It's right on the label, man. You don't worry about your stupid apps. You don't worry about weighing shit on a food scale. It's right on the label. The label. Okay, to figure it out with certain things, if it says this many calories in this many milliliters of whatever it is, you just take the serving milliliters, you take the total milliliters of the can of goods or whatever, divide it by the serving milliliters, times that by the calories per serving. Done. There's the whole thing. The whole can or whatever. Okay, if you're super fat, you do not play. Okay, we ain't playing. Do not mess around with foods you know you can't count. Do not mess with foods you can't count exact. It starts to become fun, actually. And then once you get slim, you can do whatever you want. Play. Okay, don't come to me telling me about your fasting if you have no calorie count or no calorie log at all. The calorie count literally is absolute king, even over the scale. Because if you're counting your calories accurately and you know that you're at a calorie count, that's for sure a deficit. For sure. You wouldn't even need the scale. So let's talk about some of my numbers. Okay, now, my numbers, let's say, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm just putting in some numbers. So my BMR at 160 pounds. So 160, I am shredded. Okay, at 160 pounds, I'm like 7% body fat. Okay, so I wrote it down on my blackboard. So my BMR at 160, at my height, male, is 1,500, about 1,600 calories. 1,600 is my BMR, my basal metabolic rate. If I sat around all day at 160 pounds, I'd be burning about 1,600 cal. So now if I'm counting that accurately, exact, if I sat around all day at my current weight, I'd be losing body fat on 1,600 doing nothing. And over time, it ain't going to be perfect, but it's going to be close to bringing me to that 160 pound body weight, doing nothing. Now, very low activity at 160. So this is what I did, is you put in your goal weight and shoot for the moon on your goal weight. Shoot for the moon. Okay, don't pick some dog shit goal weight. Okay, so the next one would be 1,895 calories. That's with if you looked on the BMR calculator, that'd be sedentary. Basically doing nothing. So BMR is laying there like you're in a coma. The next one is really doing nothing. So I'm at 1,900. So I'm going to, obviously, okay, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to hold 2K or less. Okay, I'm just going to hold 2K or less. 2,000 calories for me or less. Because with my activity, okay, and I don't give myself very much calorie burn for the activity, but the leaner you get, you have to add that in a little bit, or else you'll be running just too much of a deficit. But you fat pigs, you could literally take, if you go to a BMI chart and shoot for the ropes on the body weight that you should be at your height. So if you're a woman, go to the BMI chart, all right? Go to the BMI chart. Type in your height and shoot for low normal. So go in the normal range, but the low end. Okay, use that number as basically to figure out what your weight would be at your height on the low end BMI. It's gonna be that'll be you, Slim Jim. So now you got a weight goal, and then you type that weight goal into the BMR calculator, and then you type in your weight goal, your age, okay, your height, and it'll spit out a BMR. Okay, that BMR would be a decent calorie count to try to hit accurately just the BMR, especially when you're super fat. Okay, could you pull it even lower than that? Yeah. But you shoot for the moon on so the BMI chart, you go in the normal range and you go on the low end, like low. So you women like low on normal, not the high end of normal, the low end. Whatever that number ends up being, like what? Is it like 20 or 19? It will spit out a weight. And then you use that weight in the BMR calculator to figure out your BMR. And then that'll give you a calorie count that would be, definitely you'd be cutting weight on that calorie count. Okay, definitely you'd be cutting weight in that calorie count. Now your job is to sustain that calorie count, which that's what you fat pigs do not do, nor do you want to. Okay, you need to be able to hold a day-to-day calorie count to actually get lean. Okay, you can't rely on yo-yo dieting and yo-yo fasting. You need to be able to hold a day-to-day calorie count. And over time, what will happen, over time you'll get slim. And then, if you got the confidence that you can hold that day-to-day calorie count nonstop, then you might throw in a fast. Okay, then you could throw in a water fast on snake juice if you want to speed up the process because you're morbidly obese. But that is dieting, folks. That is dieting. What happens after a while, you're counting the calories with perfect precision and you're losing weight. You got a good calorie count in there. So let me just pop some calorie counts out of my ass. If you're a woman, okay, if you're a woman, you could easily chase 1,000 a day, max, if not under. 1,000 a day. Okay, but if you don't want, if you feel that's too aggressive and you're like a taller woman, go use the BMI chart. Go use the BMI chart. Figure out what the weight would be at your height on the low normal. I don't care about your genetics. Some women are going to be, just heavier boned and such. Just use the lowest BMI weight. So you go to the BMI chart, you type in your height, all right, and it'll show what should you weigh on the low end of normal. The low end of normal, fat ass. Now the men, I would probably use the high end of normal. So normal is going to have a range. The men use the high end of normal, the women the low end of normal to get a guess on a body weight, okay? If you look at the weight and it looks crazy low, whatever, who cares? You're fat anyway. It's just going to create a situation where you're getting the calories down a bit more. Then you take that weight and you put it into the BMR calculator and figure out your BMR calorie count, and you literally could use the BMR calorie count as a good starting baseline. Especially if you're super fat, you don't have to add in any of the activity on top of that. Now, if you're trying to lose like the last 15 pounds or 20 pounds or 10 pounds, then maybe add a little activity onto the BMR count. So for me, like I said, my BMR at 160 pounds, which that would be quite a ways into normal for me. That's very lean for me. I'd be on the high end of normal, probably at about 165. That's getting in there. Okay, that's very lean for me. Okay, I've pulled 7.1% body fat on a DEXA scan at 163 pounds before. So the number for me at 160 BMR, okay, at my height and all that stuff, is 1,579 calories. That's me in a coma. Okay, me in a coma. And my next to no activity, so like sedentary, is 1,895 calories. So the number I'm going to use is going to be 2 grand max. 2 grand max. And if I'm less than that some days, perfect. Perfect. Okay, perfect. The calories will always supersede the scale. Because you can stall on the scale and hold water and shit. If the calories are on point and you know for a fact you're in a calorie deficit because the calorie count is just that low, truthfully, you wouldn't even have to weigh yourself. Okay, and there's going to be some people, I'm telling you, if you're very good at counting them calories and you're holding a number that is for sure in a deficit, like if you're a woman and you're eating about a grand or slightly less, and the scale's messing with you, the calorie counting with extreme precision on a calorie count you know for a fact you must be losing body fat on is going to be more important than even the scale. And I will say sometimes the scale, the scale is an excellent tool, but sometimes the scale, with some of you people, you're not in a controlled environment, say with me around, weighing you and explaining to you every day why the weight's doing what it's doing. Sometimes the scale can mess with you, mess with your psyche, and mess with your calorie count where you're already very low, but you stall and you try to drag it too low, and then you break. But too low, like we're talking too low would be like, oh, I'm stalled on 800 a day, and I'm going to try to drag it down to 400. Like, that's getting too low. All right? That's all you need to do. Okay, from now on, I am not entertaining anybody, any coaching calls or anything if there's no calorie count. None. Okay? None. I want to turn you guys into like high level, like disciplined eaters. And like I said, every skinny girl that you're following on YouTube, any of these women, the women are either counting the calories or they've been counting calories so long that they are so good at intuition and they're always just putting downward pressure on the food. There's women that'll be not counting calories. Sadly, some of them will be like bragging that they're not counting calories, even though they still are trying to eat less every time they sit down and eat. And sometimes those women almost actually put themselves in a bigger deficit than the people that are actually counting the calories. Because they're just like not eating they're trying so hard to not eat. Or eat very light. But every one of those girls, even if they weren't counting calories now, there's these skinny women, they're like 100 pounds. Okay, they counted them at some point. They look on the plate and they're like, yeah, that ain't much. They can look back on their day and be like, yeah, I didn't eat shit today. Okay, and then they're using the mirror, and then at that point, if you get on the scale here and there, okay, they know what they're doing because they've done it so long. They count the calories for so long, they know exactly what's on the plate. You need to count with accuracy. That is so important. Nobody, like people are weighing their food, and there's a lot of error, and they're using the stupid fitness. They're using the app, but the app means nothing without perfect measurement when you're weighing shit. So you don't just eat packaged goods. Packaged goods, even shit from the fast food joints is going to be bang on accurate. At least it's the same consistency every time you get it. Okay, the Twinkie diet guy. So this guy was eating 1,800 calories a day. Okay, he lost 30 pounds in 2 months. He was like 6'1". He went from 205 to 170 something. Okay, that's getting lean at that height. And all he did is count the calories. He hit like a minimum on the protein, and the rest was just junk and a can of vegetables. Nothing is more important when it comes to losing weight than the calorie count. Anybody that dances around that point is full of shit. Okay? There's people that are going to be skinny that are going to be saying, I don't count nothing. But there's a calorie count there. Just because they're not counting it, because they're eating intuitively at this point, or their lifestyle, environment's a big part of it. Maybe their lifestyle, maybe they're living somewhere hot where they don't have a car, they're walking and biking every day. Maybe they're eating a diet that's fairly low cal. But you can eat whatever you want. So as soon as you start listening to people like that, it's going to throw you off. And then it gets you back into that magic diet mindset. There's no magic diet. There's no magic. Okay, there's no magic. There's no magic diet. If you're eating too much food on your zero carb carnivore diet, you're not going to lose weight. If you're eating too many calories, you're not going to lose weight. If you're eating too many calories on your zero fat, high carb vegan diet, you're not going to lose weight. There's always a calorie count that makes sense for that person's lifestyle. As to why they look like that. Always. Always. There's no magic. No magic. So now, as of today, you need to start counting the food. Now, honestly, is intermittent fasting a good tool to drag the calories down, to make less calories feel like more, perhaps, at the later part of the day? Yeah. But is it absolutely necessary? No. You know you can eat 3 meals a day and drag the calories through the floor. Okay, water's your friend. Okay, the snake juice salts when you're dragging the calories down on your friend. And like I said, the calorie count, knowing that you're eating an accurate calorie count and a number that is for sure in a deficit, that's what's going to be the questions you're going to be asking me. If you want coaching from me, Snake Diet Wizard, Instagram, Cole Robinson on Facebook. Okay, if I know what you look like, and I assume you're counting the calories accurately, which I'll bust your balls as to how you're counting them, and I'll be like, yeah, you're not even close to being accurate. Or I'll be like, okay, you're on point. And then I know the number of calories you're eating. I'll be able to do some quick math right there, and I'll be like, yep, you're burning body fat. I wouldn't even need to see the scale. Okay, that might be a question. Somebody will say, oh, I've been stalled for a few days. I'm eating this many calories. If the number makes sense to me, and I know that it's accurate in the way they're counting it, I guarantee I can tell them in 2 seconds if they're actually losing body fat or not. Not to mention I'll ask them about maybe stuff fitting different. You're never going to get around the calorie count. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that some of these guys like Jason Fung and all these zero-carb carnivore jackasses and even a lot of these low-fat, high-carb vegans are trying to make you think fasting's magic. And when it comes to Fung and the fasting zealots, or the guys that's like low carbs magic when it comes to the low carb zealots, or when they're just saying low fat is magic when it comes to the low fat zealots, there is no magic. If you're not losing weight, you're eating too many calories. That's it. And calories equated with every macro split is going to yield a very similar weight loss result. When you're a fat pig, don't even worry about chasing macros. If you have a day where it's just the proteins are being very low, who gives a shit? You're fat. You're fat. When that happens, if that scares you for some reason, always remember that, that you probably did a day with zero food before, or multiple days on a snake juice water fast. So what are you worried about? If you're trying to push the calories down too hard, especially when you're getting leaner, but let's say most of you guys aren't even there. 99% of you guys are watching my shit because you're a fat pig. The calorie count, your goal should be this. How long can you hold a strict calorie count? How long can you hold counting the calories every day with precision accuracy? That should be the new goal. That should be the new standard in weight loss, which was the standard in weight loss forever until all these people started trying to sell you their bullshit. Even myself, it was always, everything I've ever talked about in this channel has always been to try to get people to eat less calories. Always. Always. Okay, even when I pushed low-carb dieting, it was to try to get you to eat less calories. Okay, when I tried to push low-fat dieting, it was trying to get you to eat less calories. Just another way for some people that might have worked better to eat less calories. A lower fat diet's going to always have the advantage. But a lot of people, man, they'll do very good on calorie dense food choices, keeping the calories down that way and just drinking a shitload of water and getting in salt. There's people who have lost a crazy amount of weight eating just Snickers bars on a crazy low calorie count with very low food volume. The calorie count has to be accurate for it to mean anything. Okay, a lot of people will be like, this is just a lack of education. They'll be like, oh, I wasn't losing weight in a deficit. Like, they try to make them sound smart by saying in a deficit. If you weren't losing weight, you weren't in a deficit, you idiot. The definition of weight loss is eating less than you're burning. So how are you in a fucking deficit? You weren't. Because two things. You truly believed you were in a deficit because you thought your calories were at some low number that would have definitely put you in a deficit, but you weren't counting them accurately. Maybe you're only eating maybe you thought you were eating 1,000 calories a day, and you're some fat woman. And so in your mind, you're like, I'm in a deficit and I'm not losing weight. But really, you weren't even counting it close. Okay, you weren't even counting it close. Maybe you were even so, like, people are so lazy, they'll have, like, food and they just won't even count it because it's not an actual meal according to Hoyle meal. It's like, oh, I had 3 scoops of peanut butter at lunch, but that's just a snack. That doesn't count towards my calorie count. Like, that's kind of shit. Dumbasses, man. Okay, you gotta get smarter with this shit. What, you don't have to have a 180 IQ. I'm telling you how to do it so easy. You go to the grocery store and you buy packaged goods and you add it up. And you're like, okay, this is my calorie count I'm trying to hit. I know this calorie count's gonna put me in a massive deficit because you did what I told you to do. Okay, you went and figured out your BMR at a low-ass body weight, not your bullshit, crappy goal weight that you have. I'm talking a slim-ass body weight. And how do you go and figure out what you would be at a very slim body weight? If you're a woman, you look on the low end of the BMI at your height. The low end of the BMI chart at your height, that's the weight, fat ass. Okay, maybe you'll never hit that weight, but that is the weight you would use to figure out your BMR and figure out your calorie counts. Shoot low. Low. Like if you're like a 5-foot tall woman, okay, you should be using a goal weight of like 100 pounds. Okay, if you're like 5'4" woman, you should be figuring out your calorie counts with a weight that's like 110 pounds, 115 maybe at most. Like, go low. Go low. And then you take that low-ass weight, punch it into the calculator at your height and age. And your sex. Okay, and there is only 2 sexes on a BMI calculator, okay? Okay, there's only 2 sexes on a BMI calculator. There's female or male on a BMI calculator, all right? So I'm sorry if you think you're somewhere in the middle, you're not going to be able to get a proper BMI. BMR, I should say. All right, so that's it. So let's go and see if there's some questions here. Anybody that is disregarding the calories being everything to do with weight loss is full of shit. Full of shit. Okay, just because people who run their mouths and you'll have the odd person, 1 in 10,000. Like, let's get real, we live in a fat world. So if you got one person in the comment section that happens to be lean that doesn't count calories and they're bragging about it, they're like 1 in 10,000. You don't listen to them, fat ass. Okay, you're fat. Okay, everybody's fat. So don't go listen to that jackass. They'll lead you right down the wrong way. They'll be like, just eat what I'm eating. And they'll tell you the food choices and they won't, just because they live in a place where literally they don't even have a car. Maybe they have a job where they're standing all day. They just take they don't take that into account at all when they're running their mouth about not counting calories. And you got some fat pig that's working on a computer out of an apartment that does no walking. And these people are like, yeah, just eat ribeye. Just eat zero-fat vegan. And they just tell you nothing about their actual environment. Okay? Like, all that comes into account. That's why it's always the calories. That's what's important. Okay, you could have somebody that's literally eating, here's a good example. You could have a woman that is eating that's biking all the time, like at least an hour and a half a day. She's getting away. She's a slim woman eating 2,500 calories a day on even, let's say it's a low-fat diet, 2,500 calories. She'll end up telling you how it's the low-fat diet that's why she's skinny, right? Wrong. Her calorie count, she's burning at least $1,000 at least on the bike. So then you got some fat pig, starts eating exact same amount of food as that woman's eating, 2,500 calories, doing nothing. And she's so fat at the start, she might lose some weight because her BMR's through the roof because she's so fat. Then she stalls. She stalls at some fat-ass weight because if you took the skinny woman and told her to stop riding the bike, she would start gaining weight on her 2,500 calorie a day diet. And she would end up at exact same weight as her twin sister that was 300 pounds stalls at. No magic. Only thing that matters is the calorie count, fat ass. If people aren't counting the calories, there's still a calorie count, fat ass. There's still calories there, fat ass, if you're a fly on the wall counting it. All right. Fuck. See, this is the kind of shit. This will pop up a lot. You gotta avoid these people like the plague. These people will put you in stall city forever. So this guy says, Dale Deem 676 says no calorie counting needed with ribeyes. What are you talking about? Okay? What are you talking about? If you took a guy right now that was actually lean, and let's say he's eating like 1,800 calories a day or $2,000, and then he swapped over to your ribeye diet and he just ate recklessly, that guy's gonna gain weight, you idiot. Okay, ribeyes have a calorie count. They're not magic. If you ate 3,000 calories a day of ribeye and you're a fat woman, you're gonna stall out, and the woman that's eating literally some canned goods from the grocery store and a chocolate bar and maintaining like 1,800 a day, or 18, the woman should be down at 1,200. But let's say you got a fat woman eating $3,000 worth of ribeye, you got another woman eating whatever the hell she wants at 1,500. The girl at 1,500 calories loses more weight, man. Simple as that. And the 3,000 calorie woman wouldn't even lose weight on 3,000. Well, get the hell out of here with the bullshit. That's the biggest crock of shit. Okay, that's why a lot of people, especially the people, I'm not even lying, the people that follow low carb dieting, if I had to pick between the low carbers and the low fat people, because the low fat people, by default, a lot of times they're just gonna have eaten less calories than the low carbers. The low carb people gotta be, like in general, gotta be the lowest IQ dieters. Okay, they gotta have the lowest IQ to believe shit like that. Okay, ribeye, are you serious? I get fatter than hell eating your ribeye. You know what's funny? This guy says no calorie count needed with ribeyes. Yeah, you don't need to count calories, just be a fat ass. Fat ass pig. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. Idiots. Okay, not to mention doing a zero carb, like just ribeye steak. Like, you know how shitty that gets? People are like, oh, it's so great. Yeah, for like one meal, one day, and you're sick of it. I'd get a better result, and I'd have better adherence, hands down, to counting calories and giving somebody literally pizza and have an exact calorie count on it. Okay, they would enjoy that better. Let's say they had to pick a diet, and let's say they got the food that I gave them and it was actually restricted, and it's like you can either eat ribeye at 1,200 calories a day to maintain this low body weight, or pizza. I'll get a better result and have more people choose that pizza. Okay, anybody that denies the calorie count, anybody that denies that the calorie count doesn't matter, you can just tell they're full of shit and they're soggy as hell. Even your buddy, this is the problem. A lot of these people that are following the zero carb carnivore MDs, the MDs themselves will say the calories count, but they just don't say it very much. I'll even give Baker that. He's had a couple clips where he actually said that if you're eating too much, you won't lose weight on your ribeye. Mediocre ass bullshit results, bitch. Give me a break. Yeah, Jamalka said, Jason Fung said you'll gain weight if you reduce calories too much. What an idiot. Yeah, how are you going to go from losing weight to somehow just automatically gaining weight if the calories went down a bit more? It's complete bullshit. Because these guys have you know why? They try to sell like fasting is magic, and then they sell their stupid books to you suckers, and you guys stay in Stall City forever. It's like, oh, I've been listening to Jason Fung. And yet you get some results at the start, because a lot of people that start intermittent fasting will end up eating a bit less, but then you'll stall out, and you'll start hammering way more food when you're off the fasting window. Intermittent fasting is a good tool for some people. Some people, it will actually, if you took a skinny woman right now, a skinny woman that's actually eating 3 meals a day, and let's say she's sustaining like a 900 calorie a day diet, and you told her that she has to fast and then eat all the food, all that 900 calories, and she's really slim in the evening, that could actually hurt her routine. Okay, she's already eating light. Why would you force her to eat heavier? Or if you try to get her to eat that all in one sitting and not break it up at least to maybe 300 calories every hour for 3 hours. Okay, why does she need to change the damn thing? She doesn't. Yeah, Fung's full of shit. These guys are full of shit. I just seen a clip this morning again. It was some girl who literally was slim and lean on a low-cal diet, but she obviously started, she was too weak. She was too weak to hold on to it or whatever was happening, some sort of an environmental change in her life. So instead of just saying she was too weak to hold on to a calorie count that was keeping her slim, and what happened was she started eating more and trying to brag that eating more was better, and it showed her at like this slim, way better body on the lower calorie count. And then she started eating like at least 30% more calories, and all she did is get fatter. She just get fat. Okay, I see it all the time. You'll have a woman with a tight abs, and then she'll look great, and then she'll try to brag that more calories is better, and she's showing like these perfect angles, and now she's just got a fatter ass and a fatter ass gut. Like, give me a break with the bullshit. I see that every time. Every time. It's like, I don't even, man, it's like you just want to say, it's like, man, yeah, good job, you just got fatter. They're trying to make it look like their new fluffy ass body's better or something. It's not even close to as good as the body they had when they were eating less. Not even close. Not even close. Rope Fuel ER says, count calories, period. Everything else is a cope. Exactly. Everything else is bullshit. That's why you're still fat and chunky, man. Okay? Because you're eating too much. Like, you know how many people are eating their stupid-ass zero-carb carnivore diet, and they don't even sustain that for more than a few days in a row before they just binge on a pile of shit anyway. Because the diet is so restrictive. It's an elimination diet that should be used for like 2 weeks at best. For maybe some sort of an ailment. Just in a way for you to restrict other stuff to figure out what's causing the problem. Moraine6129 says, the BMI of 18.5 is the low end of normal. Exactly. 18.5 BMI, you fat pigs. The women. Use that. Put your height in and put an 18.5 BMI and see what the weight spits out. Use that body weight to figure out your BMR. And go to your BMR calculator and figure out some calories. And then you count the calories accurately, they're gonna get slim. The men would use, like I say, probably the middle to the high end of normal. Okay, like a guy like me, a little stocky short fucker like me, at a very lean body weight, I'm on the high end of normal with the amount of muscle I have. But that's not every guy. There's going to be guys that are middle to low end of normal that are really slim. That might be like long distance runners or cyclists, but they're not going to look the same as a guy with the more muscle. Not saying the more muscle's even better. Okay, if that's the lifestyle they like living and they're slim, fine. It's not like you need to chase a pile of muscle either. All right. I'm going to tell you guys, you actually want to get the weight off and learn proper eating habits. That will start with counting them calories accurately, precision accuracy. That is how you're going to turn yourself into an intuitive eater over time. Counting the calories with precision accuracy should be your first goal, even before weight loss. Counting the calories with precision accuracy. Even if you're doing your stupid jackass zero-carb carnivore diet, listening to the freaking Ken Dad Bod Berry, you should be counting the calories with precision accuracy. And then you'll realize, well, geez, why am I even doing this diet when it's all a calorie game? Exactly. Why? Because you got sucked into a bunch of bullshit. Now you're spending an arm and a leg on high-fat steak. The easiest way to do it is canned and packaged goods. Canned goods, packaged goods. Simple. Canned goods, packaged goods. If you're gonna have maybe a little small bottle of apple juice or something with, then you count it exact. It's right on the label. Precision accuracy. Nobody's gonna count the calories as accurately, even if they're using their stupid ass MyFitnessPal app and weighing shit on a scale, as somebody that's eating packaged goods. All right. Okay, here's one. So this is it's all, okay. C.S. Schaefer. Okay, I'm going to address this comment. He says, or she or whoever said, I used to eat 1,200 calories a day. Okay, I'll address that in a sec. I lost some weight, but fat started to melt off rapidly after starting the sugar diet. I'll tell you right now. The 1,200 calorie a day you were counting was probably, arguably, give or take, God knows how many calories a day. You weren't even hitting 1,200. I guarantee it. I guarantee it that your accuracy on the 1,200 was dog shit. Now, if your 1,200 was actually precision accuracy, that means if you started losing weight on the other macro split, there is no magic. There is no magic. You were just eating less calories. So you were probably screwing up the 1,200 calorie a day count, or you're a small woman and the 1,200 was like you're not at enough of a deficit. What's so great about? See, what's so hardcore about 1,200? You little skinny, you little fat butterball women. What's so, like, why was everybody have that in their head? Like 1,200, some low number. I seen that again. Somebody sent me something this morning. It's like, oh, how like something about somebody was getting, it was actually a clip of a girl that was eating 1,000 a day that looked like excellent. Her body was sick. Okay? She looked great. Okay? And people in the comments were like, oh, that's not enough calories. She's going to screw up her metabolism. And she looked better than everybody in the comment section that was running their fucking mouth. Eating 1,000. It was 1,000 on 3 meal a day diet. She was a small woman. She was like 5'1". Okay, had muscle on her. Okay, that's the kind of numbers you got to hit, you fat pigs. Okay, if you're not like 1,200, that's not some crazy low calorie count for a woman. If you're a short woman, it's not even, it's like maintenance for a lot of you women at a decent body weight. Okay, get your head out of your ass. It's because you get so used to listening to these fat pigs running their mouths, and that you think in your mind now that 1,200 somehow is some crazy low calorie count. It's literally a normal amount of food, you fat pigs, that you should be eating. You should be eating less. A lot of women will be maintaining on like 800, 900, 1,000. Like, those are the numbers that women need to be hitting. You better be a tall woman or doing a lot of cardio to be up like past 1,500. Like, you'll see some women will be way over 2 grand. They're literally biking, living their life on a bicycle. Okay, living their life on a bicycle, have no vehicle, biking at least an hour and a half a day. 1,000 calories gone like that. You're not doing that. That's why when you use your BMR calculator to get your initial calorie count, use the BMR. Okay, just use the BMR is the lowest calorie count it's going to give you at that low end of normal BMI body weight. Okay, get off the don't eat this, don't eat that train. It just doesn't matter. On the grand scheme of things, to lose weight, it just doesn't matter. Okay, when you get leaner, a protein count that's a minimum will matter a bit. But that is it. And even that can be so low. Okay, you don't even need to be close to a gram per pound of ripped body weight. Okay, you can be way less than that. Like, way less. Like, you'd be at a gram per kg, easy, or less. 0.8 grams per kg of ripped body weight on the protein. Okay, there's guys out there that are eating like 60, 70 grams of protein at like 6'1". They look great. It doesn't matter. End of the day, the calorie count is what's going to dictate the body weight. Okay, this guy's an idiot. Okay. This guy, yeah, Anthony bitch tits Chafee. Jamalika said, Anthony Chafee said, you'll lose more weight eating 10,000 calories of butter than eating 500 calories of plants. He has lost it. Exactly. These people are idiots, man. How are people even believing any of this shit at this point? That's how brainwashed you are. That's how much these stupid zero-carb carnivore MD jackasses have you hating vegans. That's what they did. They get you hating vegans. Okay? Once they got you hating this other group that just isn't eating any meat, then you believe everything they say. Once they got you hating these vegans, like that's exactly what he said. Eat butter, like 10,000 calories of butter versus eating 500 calories of plants. Like to believe that, they've created so much hate for you hating on these plant-based dieters. That's how that happened. Nobody in their right mind would listen to that bullshit. But you're not in your right mind. You're completely brainwashed by guys like Anthony Bitch Tits Chafee. Bitch Tits Chafee. These guys are full of shit. Full of shit. That's why you're here, to hear the truth. Okay? It's all the calories. Okay, that's why you're listening to Chafee, you're stalled. You're Anthony Bitch Tits Chafee. Listen to he's worse than Dad Bod Baker. Okay? He's like the worst. He's so full of shit. Can Dad Bod Barry, like with his turtle shell gut. Okay, and then, like I said, one thing I will say about the low-fat vegans is when you're a super fat pig, it's very, very hard to stall at a bad body weight if you're eating that low-fat diet, just because the nature of it, the calories are lower, especially if you're eating like a lot of fruit and vegetables. Okay, but it's not the end of the world if you're not eating that way either. It's all a calorie game, baby. Everybody, if those zero-fat vegans actually accurately counted the calories and showed their viewers how much they were eating, you would see it right away. You would see it right away. All right. But in general, like I say, if people are running a diet that's like high in plain potatoes, or high in stuff like that, like these starches and these fruits, naturally you're going to drive the calories down to a level where if you held on to that diet long enough, you're going to lose basically all the body fat if you're a fat ass. Okay, somebody asked about these snake juice packets. Cole, your snake juice tastes much better than my own blend. Can you talk more about the quality of the ingredients? What you're getting at the store is going to be the same ingredients, just there's a little bit of sodium bicarbonate in this. Okay, this is actually an old box, this one. The newer stuff's got a bit of magnesium, little sodium bicarbonate, little boron, and then the main two salts are sodium and potassium. Okay, each pack has approximately 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,000 milligrams of potassium. Actually, 1,300 potassium. Okay, and your element packets, 1,300 potassium in these. Your element packets got 200 potassium. Your element packets are literally, this is the biggest scam, which comes out of those zero-carb, stupid carnivore MD jackoffs. Those element packets are literally salt packets from McDonald's. And they're more money per pack than these. Okay, thanks for the support. Okay, you can always go to the store and make your own snake juice. But when you're driving the calories down, you're going to need to get your salts and you're going to get low on salt because you're not making it up with the food. Okay, people need to wake up to these guys are rip-off artists, all right? Anything I've ever pushed was trying to get the calories down. That's it. That is it. All of it was to get the calories down. So now that's what this whole channel, as long as I don't get taken down, is going to be pushed the whole time now. It's just driving the calories down. Okay? Counting the calories with 100% accuracy. It's got to start there. If you can't count the calories properly, you can't count calories. Because you got to have an accurate calorie count before you start actually pissing with the amounts. Okay, so this one, Tony Tornado said, correct, Cole. So he's talking about, okay, this is why your sugar diet was brilliant. Eating very low calories throughout the day, that is fruit, juice, honey, sugar-based gets you deep in the day without metabolic stress. So again, it was always the calories. Okay, it was always the calories. So if you can keep the calories down and there's some fat with those sugars, like there's people that have lost a crazy amount of weight on what we would call very dirty food that is just sugar and fat. The worst macros. But this is another thing. You guys ever hear of these jackass carnivore MDs talking about the Randall cycle? Which is, it's the Randall cycle exists. But the thing is, not every cell in the body is using fat or sugar at one given time. They're using one cell, could be a bunch of cells using sugar for energy and a bunch of cells using fat at the same time. The Randall cycle means nothing. But these stupid zero-carb carnivore MDs try to make it sound like that's another way they'll create fear of you eating sugar. It's stupid. It's dumb shit. It's all the calories. It's it. It's the calories and what you can sustain. What food choices do you want to eat? I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you did very good on keeping the calories low, eating McDonald's, go hard. Go hard. If you could eat the same McDonald's Happy Meal every day, okay, if you could go to McDonald's 3 times a day and get exactly the same food and you're running the calories through the floor, like if you're a woman doing OMAD, let's say, and you're going to McDonald's every night and getting 1 burger and a fry, and maybe a whatever, and a pop, like if you keep it under $1,000 and you're super fat, who cares? Perfect. Perfect. Even the micronutrients are only going to matter more once you're ripped. Once you're ripped. Once you're ripped. Okay, eat whatever the hell you want, man. If you can keep those calories down, all your health markers, all your blood markers, all your cholesterol markers, everything will improve if you're in a state of weight loss, eating what you think is trash, which now is healthy because it's improving your health. That's why I always bring up the Twinkie diet guy. He was eating the worst shit you can think of. Sugar and fat mixed together, 1,800 cal a day. Every health marker improves when you're losing weight. Only when you get really lean when you maybe want to get something in that you're not getting from your diet. And even then, you're going to, lean people live the longest. Even then. Sleep's on point and you're lean, you're going to live longer than fat boy that's got shitty sleep and he's fat. DDF Weight Log says, counting calories has changed my life. Man, it's easy. It's fun. It's fun. You can trust it. This is about trust. You can't trust anybody that's walking around that point of calories not being the whole thing related to the weight loss. You can't trust these idiots. They need the calorie game. They need the calorie game to not matter. They need to make you hope that the calories can't be the problem. Because if they acknowledge it's all calories, they can't sell you on their fucking diet. And they make a lot of money selling you on especially on their zero carb diet. That's one thing I like about the low fat vegans. A lot of them are promoting almost minimalism. Eating for very cheap. Okay, where these freaking zero carbers, man. Man, you gotta be half rich to even eat that stupid diet. I got people I coach that couldn't even afford that shit. They'll break themselves trying to eat that diet, and then they'll just quit anyway because the diet doesn't even, it's shit. It makes you stall out, and it's just crap. As far as even, it's so strict on the food choices, it's ridiculous. And then you can't even get the weight off because as soon as you start bringing the calories low on it, it feels like you're not eating anything. Okay, like it's on you. I don't care what you're eating. Okay, if you're running your mouths in my comment section saying, I eat this and that and got rid of this and that, like, I don't care. It's the calories. I don't give a shit. If certain foods you just make you feel better and you can sustain a low calorie count, fine. Fine. Maybe it's McDonald's, maybe even doing a zero carb carnivore diet for a bit. Like, who the hell is going to do that when they got all these other choices if it's all a calorie game in the end? Who's going to eat that way? It'd be stupid. Oh my God. Jamel Laka said, Thomas DeLauer said your metabolism will tank without a minimum of 50 grams of fat. He's a fool. Did he say that? Like, seriously? Man, these guys are so full of shit. They just pop this shit out of nowhere. Where does that even come from? Okay, how many zero-fat vegans are out there that are like literally in 20 million times better cardiovascular shape than he's in that don't eat any fat at all? Okay, like not saying that he wants to have their build either. Maybe they're a little under-muscled for his taste. But it's just bullshit to make a comment like that if he said it. I told you, I'm going to go back to this again. You go to your BMI chart, you fat pig. And if you're a woman, you put in your height and figure out what your weight would be on the low end of normal. Somebody said it was 18.5 BMI. Use that weight in your BMR calculator to figure out your BMR. And then you can see, okay, what are the calorie counts at? Like, my BMR is going to be you in a coma. And then you got your low activity numbers. And that will give you starting points. Okay, if you're a man, maybe use like the high end of normal. The high end of normal, which I believe is like 24.5 maybe or something. 25, 24.5. Okay, like, man. Nobody is going to get around this. This is honest to God, raw ass truth. Okay, it's the truth. This is the truth. It's the absolute 100% non-negotiable truth about fucking weight loss. There's no magic. Okay, there's no magic. Okay, if you're not losing weight, the calories are too high. And the calories equated with whatever macro split, especially when you're a fat ass, will yield almost the exact same weight loss result. The exact same. You need to count the calories with precision accuracy. And I'm telling you, the best way to do that when you're a fat pig is canned and packaged goods. No food scale, no nothing. You're just going to screw it up. Packaged goods. Don't worry about your stupid apps either. You packaged and canned goods. And get out the old pen and paper and log it in a notepad. Actually learn how to do this shit. Stop trying to rely on these stupid apps. Okay, I've never used an app to track calories. Ever. Ever. It's so soft to me. Okay, you write that shit down, you fat pig. All right. Patil 240 said, Cole, I'm fasting 5 days dry, then 1 day wet. Then on Sundays, I refeed 2,500 calories, 75 pounds down in 45 days. Thank you for all the years of help. Excellent work. But for everybody that just listened to that, almost nobody's going to be able to do what this person did for the last 45 days. Okay, that's hardcore shit. You need to be able to count these calories on a day-to-day before you take part in any hardcore fasting. Okay, you need to be able to count the calories with precision accuracy and hold a calorie count that you know you're losing weight without any fasting. You should not have to rely on fasting or exercise to lose weight. If you can't lose weight sitting on the couch all day on your current calorie count, your calories are too high. So get the calories down to, that's why I'm saying, use the low end of normal on the BMI chart if you're a woman, mid to high end of normal if you're a man. Use that weight, punch it into your BMR calculator, and figure out what your BMR is. Okay, and that number right there could be your starting calorie count right off the bat. Okay, where I guarantee you if you're using that calorie count, that number will get you slim. If you want to try to pull it below that, fine. But that number will get you slim. So my BMR at 160 pounds, I'm definitely in the high end of normal on the BMI. That's me being a stocky guy. And my BMR is 1,579 calories at 160. Okay, so I'm going to probably play with $2,000. I'll just hold $2,000 or less. Okay, it's a non-negotiable. 2,000 calories or less. Okay, if I didn't even weigh myself, and I know already I've done this shit, like lots. Okay, if I don't even get on the scale, I will get ripped on sub 2,000 calorie a day with not even crazy cardio at all. Okay, so that's all I got to do. That's all you got to do for me is hold 2,000 calorie or less. Okay, I'm doing this right along with you. This is what actually came up. I was getting into the fasting like just too much. And it was getting away from this real dieting, from stuff that people need to learn. Okay, this is where it's going, right here. Okay, so I'll be doing this with you guys. Okay, I'm going to get ripped on 2K or less a day. 2K or less a day for me. Okay, that's me. The amount of weight I actually have to lose right now to get down to 160. So that, like, 160 for me is going to be like literally under 8% body fat. 7, man, that's lean. That's a reach. That's a stretch. 160 for me. Okay. Now I have changed my training a little bit. I told you guys I'm doing only bodyweight calisthenics. There's no heavy hip hinge leg work. All right. And how long will it take me to chew myself down to that calorie count? Right now, I got like maybe 15 pounds to drop to get to that. Okay, that'd be the goal. If I'm looking crazy lean before I get to 160, then that's it. Okay, but that's all I need to do. So anybody that's about my size or men, like if I'm eating $2,000 or less, but you're not going to lose it as fast on $2,000. If you're a guy that's super fat and you can hold something lower, perfect. If you can hold 1,000 a day, perfect. Perfect. Let's see here. Okay, see, like stuff like this. Like, what's your calorie count? Okay, don't give foods magic. So, Michael Norris, 2765 says, I've been losing weight eating a lot of wet fruit and fat-free yogurt. Yeah, because the calories are rock bottom. Okay, what's your calorie count? Don't say lots of either. Like, I hear that all the time. There'll be some skinny woman talking to some fat woman, and she'll be like, well, I eat a lot of this and a lot of that. You don't eat a lot of anything when you're slim. All right? You don't eat a lot of anything. Okay? You don't eat shit. So don't use that verbiage when you're talking to somebody that's fat about what you eat when you're lean. If you're the 1 in 10,000 people that's actually at a good body weight. Okay? You don't eat a lot of anything. You got to be more specific with these pigs if you're going to tell them what you eat. You should be like, I eat this many calories. I eat this many calories. Because you could have some skinny woman that goes to McDonald's every night, eats a meal a day. And she'll be like, I eat a lot of McDonald's. But all she's having is a kid's Happy Meal. What's a kid's Happy Meal, like, for calorie count? Okay, the woman's like 100 pounds, 5'3". And she's like, I eat a lot of McDonald's. She doesn't eat a lot of anything, all right? She's eating like she's eating a very low calorie diet. You don't eat a lot of nothing when you're slim. Unless you're doing crazy amounts of cardio, which that's unnecessary. There's going to be people that compete and stuff that's like they're beating the shit out of themselves doing crazy amounts of cardio. It's not necessary. Okay, you don't eat a lot of anything. And like this guy said, he's eating like literally fruit and Greek yogurt at 0 fat. His calorie count's rock bottom. Like a whole tub of that 0 fat Greek yogurt's like 400 calories. The whole damn tub. And then that with a bunch of fruit, like you know how many pounds of fruit you eat? Like, man, you're just not eating anything. What's the calorie count? There's always a calorie count. Okay, where's your calorie count? Where's your calorie count? Okay, don't tell people I'm just eating a lot of this. And then you'll have people that are bragging how they lost 20 pounds on a 0-carb carnivore diet, and they are like 400, now they're 380. So what? It's like, I'm eating a lot of ribeye and I lost 20 pounds. And then they don't say their weight. And behind the scenes, they're 400 and they got down to 380. Like, who gives a shit? Give me a break. You see that a lot. Like, I've seen some of those comment sections on these Carnivore MDs channels. And, like, people dodge talking about their weight and weight loss like the plague because it's non-existent. Stall City! It's non-existent. No one's saying it. No one says their body weights. Okay, let's start putting weights in these comments. Like, once you get slim, brag about it. Brag. Brag. Okay, you still got women that are like literally like 5 feet tall, and they're like happy if they're in Wonderland. Like they're like 5'2" and they hit 199. Are you nuts? You're still a fat butterball. Wonderland, shit. Most of the men should be in Wonderland. The women should be in whatever you would call 99 pounds, like under 100. Kevin B. Bad says, calories aren't real. I don't count calories. The second leanest person here, yeah, sure. Okay, count your calories for everybody and let's see what the number is. Let's see what the number is. Assuming you are lean, let's see what the number is. Show us the number. And I guarantee you the number, if he's not full of shit, will represent exactly what his body weight is. It's like, well, this guy's like, let's say, I don't know how big he is, but let's say you got a guy that's slim, you know their height. I could get, if they told me ballpark their activity level, I can guess their calorie count within 500 a day. Like, seriously. It's not hard. If you know the guy's height and weight and a ballpark activity and you know what he does for work, it's like you can guess his calorie count within like a couple hundred calories a day. On average on the week. Some days will be higher, some days will be lower. There's no magic. A calorie is as real of a unit of energy as anything else. Like, what the heck is Anthony Bitch Tits Chafee talking about? Calories aren't real, he says. What an idiot. Now, does your body work exactly like a bomb calorimeter? The way it blows up the food and burns the calories? No, so what? So what? It's trackable. It's trackable. That's all that matters. It's trackable. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Jamalika said, if you eat 2 double quarter pounders at McDonald's every day, you'll get shredded. Men, yes. Most men, yeah. Like 2 double quarter pounders. Depends if you get the cheese and bacon. You're looking at like sub 1,600 calorie a day. That actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I have a taste from McDonald's, some nights that's my go-to. 2 of those double quarter pounders. And I'll make sure when I eat really dirty, I'll make sure the calories are even lower on the dirtier days. I did that. Remember I did the video, the whole McDonald's diet, 3 double quarter pounders. I was maintaining 170 on it. With peanut butters, I was trying to hold 170. I'd add and subtract the peanut butters depending what my weight was doing. I was actually losing weight on 3 of them at the time, which is about 2,400 cal, a little less. But when you're eating the exact same food like that and you're weighing yourself every day, you can dial it in perfect. Bridge Soul E9I 5'7" male, 150 pounds. Hibernation mode for 3 days, down 16 pounds. Thank you, Cole. Definitely counting calories when I break the fast. Exactly. Remember, fasting is short term. Okay, most of you aren't going to fast more than, if you fasted 60 days out of a year, that'd be insane. Most people would never have 60 0-calorie days. Okay, the days you're eating matter the most by far. You could fast, I'm not even kidding you. You could have somebody that fasted 100 days out of the year, and they're still chunky because the other days they eat a pile. All right, let's see here. TLM just repeated exactly what I've been saying this whole video, but anyway, I'll say it. TLM Nathan said, find your BMR calculator, input your age, height, sex, and use your goal weight, not current weight, then use the calories it recommends. That is the easy base way to get started. Exactly, and I'll add to that. Use a goal weight if you're a woman that is at the low end of the BMI chart. Your goal weight is going to be dog shit. Most of your goal weights are dog shit. They're too high. You do not have any idea how slim you can get. Use a goal weight using your height in a BMI calculator. A BMI calculator that's at the low end of normal. That is 18.5 BMI according to the person that put it up earlier. Okay, I believe it is 18.5, and the top end, I think, for men is 24.5. Okay, the low end of normal, baby. 18.5 BMI, bitch. Okay, you men, somewhere's middle of normal to the high end of normal, depending what your genetics look like. Okay, if you hold a lot of muscle and you got my kind of build, like the high end of normal. Okay, like I said, I have pulled a 7.1% DEXA scan. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see some really lean pictures of me back in the day. 7.1% DEXA scan, and I was 163, which is the high end of normal for my height at that low body fat percentage. Okay, drug-free. I've never done any drugs. Okay, the only thing I even take anymore is a little bit of vitamin C. Let's see here. Lard says, Sovereign, he's saying eat as little as possible, even under 1,500 calorie for men. Exactly. You fat ass man can easily pull off 1,500 calorie day diet or less, especially if you're doing it on OMAD. Lots of water. Okay, lots of water. Get in your snake juice salts. Make sure you're getting your salts in, and a whack of water in the evening, even if it's a dirty looking meal. As long as the calories are rock bottom, like the calories are king. If you're eating a lower volume looking diet with more fat in it, ramp the water up. Ramp the water up. See, another thing, the calorie count is a baseline. All right, the most important part, like I said, you need to count the calories with accurate precision. The first and foremost, right there. You need to count the calories with accurate precision. So that's why the best way to do it is going to be packaged goods. Packaged goods. And buying packaged goods where you eat either the whole pack or maybe half of the pack. So it's easy math. Okay? And then you use your BMR calculator to get a good starting point BMR based on a body weight that is based on a BMI calculator at the low end of normal for women and men middle to high end of normal. And start there. Just start. There's nobody that ain't going to lose weight on that calorie count. I don't give a shit what foods they're eating. And if you could pull it even lower than that, if you're really fat and you feel like you can hold on to it, perfect. If the number's low enough, it doesn't matter if you don't know your TDEE, which would be your total daily energy expenditure, your total calories on the day, it doesn't matter. When the intake, the caloric intake is a low enough number that you know damn well you'd be losing weight sitting on the couch. Don't play around with a number that is going to be dancing around your maintenance. For example, my BMR at 160-pound body weight, which is me ripped, is 1579 calories. And the high number with me like working out vigorously 7 days a week is 3,000 calories. So do you think I'm going to piss around with anything that's even close to the 3 grand if I'm trying to get down to 160? Hell no. Not unless I had some lifestyle where I was guaranteed some crazy cardio that day. Hells no. I play around with stuff that's very close to the BMR. Maybe the low activity number, which for me would be 1895 cal, 1895. BMR is 1500, 1600 about. The next one is 1895. That's why I said what I'll do is 2 grand. 2 grand for me, I already know I've ate 2 grand in the past, got leaner now. Okay, I cut for a powerlifting meet and I was like 7% body fat eating 2,000 calories. Okay, it's trackable. You can trend it. Okay, that's all you care about. It's trackable. It's accurate to the point where you can trend it perfectly. And no matter what the macros, it won't matter. Okay, the calorie count, if the calories are equated, even if the macros are completely different, 0 carbs, 0 fat, mixed macros, doesn't matter. If the calories are equated and you're a fat pig, the weight loss will be identical. Identical. Only when you start getting leaner is the macros going to matter a little more. You have to have at least a minimum on the protein, or else you'll start cutting muscle off your body just because you're getting so slim. All right, let's see here. Okay, here's a good point that I'll say, and I'll explain this. DDF Weight Loss says, my BMR is going down every week. Exactly. It will drop every week. That's why when you go to figure out your BMR, don't use your fat ass current body weight. You use the BMI chart. Okay, to figure out your BMR at your goal weight, or it'll be a goal weight that might even be lighter than you'd ever get to. The BMI chart, you use the low end of normal for your weight. To figure out your weight at a certain height, you use the low end of normal on the BMI chart. Okay, don't use your fat ass weight you are right now. Okay, you want to be more aggressive than that. Okay, so your BMR right now will be dropping. But the BMR you should be using on the calculator will be the BMR of your goal weight. And I'm giving you a way to figure out a goal weight that's not going to be your high, shitty-ass goal. Use the BMI chart, and if you're a woman, use the low end of normal. And that might be a crazy low weight that you won't hit. But use that number to figure out the BMR. If you're a male, middle to the high end of normal. Somewhere in there. Don't use your current body weight. Okay, Jesus, that's just setting you up to eat way more than you'd ever need to eat. Okay, that's like, if you use your current BMR, shit. Some of you fat 500-pound pigs, that's like, well, geez, then I might as well just eat. Like, if it's a 500-pound woman, her BMR is like 3,200 or some shit. Okay, why would she wouldn't even be able to eat 3,200, especially if she's doing some intermittent fasting. Okay, why would she do that? Why wouldn't she just eat like she's already skinny? 1,000. Okay, don't use your current body weight for anything. But yes, your BMR is dropping by the day. Your current BMR is going to be dropping. But the BMR you use is based on a goal weight where you're slim. That's how you get the calorie count. And then you're going to be losing weight fast, bitch. All right, let's see here. Okay, here's a good little thing. Maker's Folly says, I put my age in, and that I'm 5'3", and put in my ideal goal weight of 107 pounds, and I got a BMR, and it's 1,063 cal. So I'll be eating 680 calories of chia banana boost smoothie every day from Trop Smoothie. Okay. So your goal weight's 107, which that's a pretty good goal at 5'3". But like I say, if you don't know, if you guys are guessing too high on your goal weight, you use the BMI calculator on the low end of normal to get yourself a goal weight. But what I would do, if your goal weight's 107, and that's the BMR is coming out at 107 pounds at 5'3", at 1,063 cal, if you can hold on to 680, fine. But if it gets too hard, I guarantee you'll be cutting body fat at 1,000. Especially, I don't know what your current weight is, but you'll be cutting body fat at 1,000. Just make sure you keep under that. Okay, just make sure you're always going down. Okay, don't go biting off such a low calorie count where you're playing around with 680 is not bad. 680, if you're pushing a fast during the day on OMAD or something like OMAD, 2 meals at 350 calorie a pop, that's very sustainable for a small woman. Okay, so that's some pretty decent numbers. So she's still going like literally 400 calories just about under the BMR, which is really aggressive. And that BMR is of her goal weight, which is only 107 pounds, since she put in 107 pounds. Now, I guarantee at 5'3" on the low end of normal on the BMI, if you're going 18.5 BMI, that goal weight would probably be like even less than 107. But that's good. Good start. Desert Turtle X5Y1U says Funkster loves fasting. Yeah, he loves fasting and binge eating. He loves teaching people how to fast and binge. With this bullshit. Oh, yeah, as long as you fast all day, eat whatever you want. Eat as much calories as you want. Fast all day, yeah. Go ahead. You won't lose any weight. And if you do lose weight, it's because you're so morbidly obese. You put yourself in a deficit up till some sort of a stall city. Because you have no accountability and refuse to count shit. The calorie count being accurate with precision is more important than the scale. Okay, knowing that you're at a calorie count that you know damn well 100% you're in a deficit. 100% that calorie count has you in a big deficit, and you're counting the calories with precision, you wouldn't even need the scale. You wouldn't even need to weigh yourself, because you're going to be losing weight. You're going to be losing weight if that calorie count, that's more important for you to get right than even the scale. Comeback Protocol says, I just did the calculations. I'll actually be able to eat more at 6'7", 225 pounds than I do now. Wow. I can't wait till people see my transformation. Exactly. Like, A guy that's 6'7" at 225, I'd have to look at the BMR calculator, but even if he used the middle, like middle BMI, so yeah, 225, he's using that number because he used to play basketball at like 230. But 6'7", 225. His maintenance calorie count, I know damn well without even typing it in, is going to be like at his BMR. His BMR is going to be probably like 2,700. Like that'd be him literally in a coma, doing nothing. As soon as he has the littlest bit of activity, he's up over 3,000 calories a day. To sustain that's a joke. Guy's going to be ripped dunking basketballs down your fucking throat. All right, let's see here. Brother Jerry said 50% of my calories is red wine. Fuck, if you're in a deficit, I don't give a shit. Okay? Get ripped. Be a drunk and get ripped. Okay, you know what? Remember what Matthew McConaughey was eating for Dallas Buyers Club to cut all that weight? He was literally under 1,000 calories a day, and at the end of the day, he drank a half bottle of red wine. And it counted in the calories, obviously. He was eating a low-fat diet, chicken breast, vegetables. His carb was like some tapioca pudding. And at night, he was drinking a bunch of red wine. He was under 1,000 calories a day. He got down to 130, what did he get down to? Like 134, 32 pounds? Like, that is hard weight loss. Okay, that's past weight loss for him. He was ripped at 168. Okay, he looked good at 180. It's not like you fat pigs that are trying to get to his starting weight. Okay, you guys are trying to get to his starting weight. There's no effort. That was like taking it deep. Okay, deep into Skeleton City. All right? Ideally, you don't want to be a drunk. Obviously, you want to get off the booze if you're drunk. Okay, what else do we got here? Scotch Potch 42 said, I ate carnivore for 3 measly days, then I redeem on lasagna and mac and cheese. Exactly, you just completely fail. It's just too restrictive. The food choices are too restrictive. Calories allows you whatever the hell you want. Isn't that what you want? Count the calories. You can eat whatever you want, especially when you get lean, but use packaged goods to count the calories with perfect precision. Don't gamble on that. Don't trust anything that you think is not an accurate calorie count of that food. Don't trust anything. Packaged goods are the best. Okay, don't get caught up in nutrition and shit. Packaged goods, whatever gives you the most accurate calorie count is the most important thing. Okay, I'm doing this with you guys, all right? Okay, I'm bringing back the calorie game, baby. Okay, if you want to throw in some water fasting and shit, and you are a pro at counting those calories and running a deficit on all the eating days, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Okay, when you're driving the calories down, you want to get in some electrolytes because you're not eating much. If you're doing any water fasting, obviously electrolytes. Okay, if you want to support me, the links will be in the comments below. It's easy, man. Like I said, there's going to be women out there that would go to McDonald's every night and get skinny as a rail. Counting the calories. The one thing I love about pushing the calorie count, and that's all it is. That's all everything is. It's just the calorie count being low enough that you're yielding a weight loss result. There is no diet. Okay, there is no diet. Okay, there is no flip-flopping. There's nothing. It's a calorie count. It wouldn't make a damn bit of difference if, man, you could have, tomorrow I could eat straight meat, and the calories are under 2,000. Next day I can eat straight carbs. Calories under 2,000. Next day I can eat, man, you can eat, I don't give a shit what you eat. There's no diet. That's the best part of it. It literally deletes dieting. It deletes diet. The diet culture, they hate that. Because as soon as you start counting calories, all the dieting bullshit, dogma, just goes up shit creek. There is no fucking diet. It's just a calorie count. There is no diet. see here. Oh my God. Film fails. 7132 says you don't need to count calories on carnivore. Time to read up on the law of thermodynamics. Fool, you an idiot? Okay, are you an idiot? Okay, how many of these carnivore people, if you watch even their YouTube channels, how fucking stalled they are, you moron? Okay, if you don't count calories, yeah, you don't need to count calories, but you'll be 300 fucking pounds. Okay, there's people that are stalled out at like body weights that are like 100 plus pounds over. People that have been strict zero carb carnivore. Because they ate too much. They ate too much. And that's the funny. And then he says, time to read up on the law of thermodynamics. That's what I'm talking about, you idiot. Okay, it's the zero carb carnivore fucking scam artists that are ignoring the laws of thermal fucking dynamics. Jesus Christ. Tell me you're a fucking fat pig without telling me you're a fat pig with that comment. You know how many fat pigs are like, carnivore, carnivore. And they're fat. Like, shut your trap. Shut your trap. You're fat. Fat people have no place in giving any advice about anything to do with eating habits. I'll tell you that right now. It's funny, like literally the only actual carnivore MD that doesn't even eat fucking carnivore no more, that's lean, is Saladino. And I don't even trust that Saladino's not on freaking testosterone, but his lifestyle, he surfs like 8 hours a day. Crazy calorie burn. And he just eats whatever. Okay? He's just outburning his diet. Okay, you'll see some people like that just outburn their crazy high calorie diet. It's his environment that allows him to outburn that diet. If you took away the surfing, he'd be fat in a week. Like it was so, you know what? It's just so crazy. We got so far away from the truth. Like the Twinkie diet guy, you know, the reason that even happened, that was in 2010. He literally proved it right out. It was, and this guy was a professor of nutrition. He proved it right there. He slapped people in the face with the 7-Eleven diet. It's like, cut the calories, and he lost 30 pounds in 60 days. Every single health marker improved. Every health marker improved. Seed oils and all. Seed oils and all. Man, you can tell right away, people don't want to count the calories. Okay, all these people have these weight loss channels. There's no fucking calorie counts even being muddled at all. Like, what's your calorie count? You're lazy as hell, man. Just eat foods you can fucking count. Yeah, here's one too. Darbs Even Up says, shocker, that bodybuilders 100% of the time, 100% of bodybuilders restrict calories to cut for a show. It's the only way. There's not one bodybuilder in HX that has, yeah, what he means, there's not one bodybuilder ever that has increased or kept calories at baseline to cut. Obviously, exactly. Like, and you got to remember, they're trying to go from a pretty lean body weight to shredded as well. You fat pigs just trying to get to a normal body weight. As soon as you get, like, it's a beautiful thing. You'll get, geez, the diet I eat doesn't mean shit. It's all the calories. Now, if there's certain food choices that you can restrict calories easier on, fine, go hard. Like I said, some people will restrict best eating junk food by counting it accurately. Accurately. Some people will do good on whatever. Like, man, it doesn't matter. It's just, are the calories low enough? And you need to count them accurately with perfect precision to know for sure they're low enough. if you're even chasing a low enough calorie count number in the first place. All right, let's see here. Okay, here's a good question. Don't speak, get on with it. Is this the protocol that you will adopt with Maya? 1,000 calorie a day. It's exactly what she's been doing for months. Okay, she actually, out of anybody, out of anything that actually works, she knows she's tried all the bullshit. And all the magic dieting just fails her because there's no accountability to the calorie count. As soon as she just counts the calories, eats whatever the hell she wants, she starts losing weight. That's how she lost like 20 or 30 pounds in like the last 60 days. Accurate calorie counting, precision calorie counting. That's the calorie count she's holding on to, about 1,000. Maybe even less. That'd be the max. She's not trying to hit the 1,000. It's just don't go over 1,000. Accurately, perfect accuracy, packaged goods. At the moment, that's exactly what she's doing. She eats packaged goods to count the calories with perfect accuracy. I love my life. 8899 says, Cole aims for weight loss. He's not dogmatic. Exactly. I just want results. I want people to lose weight. Okay, I don't dance around that point. Anybody, all these other people, it's always they're dancing around that point. They always go down the direction you're healing, or they demonize carbs, or they demonize even fat, or they demonize everything. Okay, there's certain things that are going to make it easier to drop the calories down. But honestly, at this point, that's all I'm going to be pushing is what's the calorie count. I just don't care. I don't even care to hear what you eat. As long as you count it exact. I just don't give a shit. Because the calorie count is going to dictate the weight loss. Okay, so that being said, when you guys are talking to your friends and shit, like, shut the fuck up about your diet. Nobody gives a shit. You're not helping anybody by telling them what you're eating for foods. You're just not. You need to tell them your calorie count if you're actually getting good results. And when I say good results, not just some fat pig who's lost some weight. I mean somebody that's gotten down to a good body weight from a fatter weight. You need to be telling other people your fucking calorie count. Everybody needs to be telling people what their calorie count is that's actually getting to a good body weight. That's going to help people. Not telling them, oh, I'm eating fucking ribeye. Or I'm even eating this vegan diet. None of it. You need to be telling people what the calorie count is. If you want to, like, if you're eating a zero-fat diet, you can tell them, if you're bragging up your zero-fat diet, you don't brag it up like fat's the complete end-all, be-all. What you need to say is, the reason I eat my zero-fat diet is because it just helps me restrict the calorie count. That's all it is. Instead of saying it's magic. The fat you eat is not the fat you wear if you're running the calories low enough with the fat. Okay, isn't this proven when people lose weight like crazy on chocolate? Like, that's bullshit too. That comes out of the vegan camp. No, it's not it. Okay, you can literally get lean eating, as long as the calories are low enough, you can get lean eating 800 calorie a day with chocolate bars. Fuck. And some people would feel better on that than they would on fruit and starch. Or a mixture. Like, you can eat whatever you want. You just gotta have the calories rock bottom. Obviously, higher fat diet's gonna have lower volume. Oh, I think this is my buddy. I used to live with this guy. I think it's him. Pete Man says, if that is Pete, maybe it's not. I used to live with a guy who was a natural bodybuilder who was ripped year round. And he always counted every calorie. Every calorie. And what he would do, even just to give himself some adherence, he'd eat like 600 calories of Oreos at night and then go walk 600 calories just to burn it off for the adherence to have the Oreos. Cole, I've been shredded 8% body fat for 10 years straight counting calories. What am I doing wrong? Okay, thanks. That sounds like it. Maybe it's not. That's perfect, exactly. In fact, I don't know if this is Pete, but Pete, my buddy Pete, was the first guy to actually put me on a diet, counting calories. And that was in that was before I was even before I was even a fitness trainer. No, just before. All right, let's see here. Goss said 400 calories of lean meat a day versus 400 calories of canned fruit a day. What would be the difference response for a fat person? So, like, if you're super fat, just focus on the calorie count. Okay, that's all that really matters. Okay, don't get caught up in chasing macros and shit. Whatever gets the calories low. If there's some protein there, whatever. Okay, whatever gets the calories low. If you can sustain the calorie count, especially when you're super fat. Super fat people have fasted on 0 calories on water. Okay, whatever makes you able to hold that calorie count down there. It's going to matter more when you get leaner that you're hitting a protein count. Oh, let's see here. Oh my God. Oh, Greg Lee Carriolis 7286 says, what about insulin resistance? Is that even a thing? Or is it just all about the calories that matter? It's the calories. If you have insulin resistance, you eat too much. You're just eating too much. You're going to reverse all these problems just losing weight. And how do you lose weight? You got to run the calories low enough to get a weight loss result. You got to run the calories low enough to elicit a weight loss result. You think your body is going to be insulin resistant if you're losing weight like crazy, eating like two Snickers bars and 3 cans of sardines a day or some shit or whatever, like as long as it's a crazy low calorie count, even if it's like straight fat and sugar? Of course it is. It's the dose. It's the fucking dose. Okay, you can reverse every health issue eating trash as long as you're in a state of weight loss. And it's going to matter more that you're hitting a protein count that's reasonable when you get lean. You fat pigs just got to focus on getting the calories down any way possible. Oh, like, man. Okay, here's one. Panda Dust Samurai said, how long can you eat 1,500 calories before frying your thyroid? Or how do you avoid that? I did months and gave myself Hashimoto's, but I'm done. Don't take anything anymore. What are you talking about? 1,500 calories for one of you, a man or a woman? Okay, 1,500 calories is a lot of food. Okay, you're not gonna fry your thyroid on a diet that's got a mixed macro split and has carbs. It's gonna be, for some of these menopausal women, you screw your thyroid up on a crazy low carb diet too long, especially if you're restricting the food through the floor. Especially if you're a woman. Okay, you're not gonna fry anything. Like why would you even say that? Okay, you're not gonna fry your thyroid in 1,500 calorie a day diet. There's women out there, man, that are skinny and they're eating like 800, 900 a day every day. Okay, maybe you should worry about the results. Okay, don't make these dumb assumptions. Okay, look at the weight people are. The calorie count will go hand in hand with their body weight. Hand in hand. Kex27 said, cool for you personally when attempting to hold 160s. Do you experience cravings or energy/strength issues? So 160 is a pretty big range. Like 168 versus 160 pounds is a pretty big gap. I competed in a powerlifting meet at 163 in the past. But it depends on training too. Like I'm not gonna have the pressing strength at the lower body weights. Your leverages aren't as good. That's why I love doing body weight training. All right, but honestly, at my size, if you chip down to that 160, low 160s and do it slow, especially when you get down to 170, you slow it right down and you get in a good routine and your body adjusts accordingly. It's not like you're gonna have lots of energy. Now, is your pressing strength and some of these leverages going to be worse? Yeah, but if you're doing body weight shit, you're going to be making gains. Like I said, for me at 160, the weight, the level of body fat matters more than the weight. Okay, it's not like I'm some skinny ass running vegan or biker that's like has no muscle. Me at 160 right now, if I was 160 tomorrow on a DEXA scan, I'd pull like sub 7% body fat at 160 pounds. I'd pull sub 7%. Okay, there's guys that would be 160 that would be like way higher body fat percentage than that, even at a taller body weight than me. Okay, and that's where it matters how lean are you at the 160. It's not just the number. Okay, it's like how fucking lean are you at that number? Like the number, I just say 160 because I know my body. I'm ripped at 160, 165 even. All right, let's see here. Oh my God. Ken Wang 2 says, it's insulin, Cole. Low-fat diets cause weight gain on lower calories. Are you retarded? You're not gaining weight on when the calories are low on a low-fat diet, you're not going to gain weight. Oh my God. And like people think like as far as even insulin secretion, you think you're not like throwing out insulin like just as much as anything when you're pounding the protein in. Like, man, the insulin has no effect on anything. All right? Like get insulin out of your head. That comes from fung with this bullshit. Okay, and also just the volume of insulin you're going to put out even intermittent fasting in that window versus not eating all day. Okay, it doesn't affect shit. The calories is what matters. You can't, like, do you think you're going to produce as much insulin on three 300 calorie meals a day? So 900 total calories versus some fat pig that even fasts all day and plows in 4,000 one sitting? Fung? Who do you think is going to push more insulin out? Who cares about insulin? It's a calorie count that gets weight off. You're going to have crazy insulin sensitivity at a fucking low body weight. And you're going to be way more efficient at actually using the calories properly. Just get light, lose weight. It's all a calorie game. That's it. Everything you're hearing from these other people is just a crock of shit. Okay, obviously, like I say, like dodging some fat for people will help a lot because it drops the calories down because fat's 9 calories a gram. Okay, Carnivore Whale Mart Tomahawk says, I prefer eating 25 to 3,000 calories. So, okay. So, why do you prefer eating 25 to 3,000 calories? Like, are you lean? And what is it, 25 or 3,000? Okay, that's a huge gap. Okay, if you're lean at 2,500, you're going to be gaining weight on 3,000. And he says, and not packaged goods, fresh fruits too, fine. But if you can't count the fresh foods and you're trying to get lean, it's pointless. Okay, you think you're not going to get healthier eating what you think is a fresh food, healthy-ass diet if you're gaining weight on it. Okay, weight loss is king. Accurate calorie counting with precision is king. 25 to 3,000 is a huge gap. It means nothing. Okay, it doesn't matter what the fuck you eat. You need to get the calories tracked accurately to start this whole thing. And then you need to set a weight goal that's low. Using a BMI chart's a good way to do it, and use the bottom end of the BMI if you're a woman. Use that weight number to figure out your BMR. Start there, and just use the BMR count to start, which is the lowest calorie count you'll get off the BMR chart, BMR calculator. All right. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time. You need to count the calories are everything when it comes to losing weight. There is no magic. You need to count the calories with accurate precision. So for you rookies, most people, packaged and canned goods are accurate. Perfect accuracy on the calorie count. So just start counting the calories. Okay, before you even start looking to hit a certain calorie number, count every calorie perfectly. Now, you're going to have a goal weight that's going to be a joke because your goal weight is a joke. Your goal weight is you still being fat, most of you. So now you've been counting the calories with perfect accuracy for the last week. Now, use the BMI chart. For the women, use the low end of normal for your BMI. That's going to give you a weight at your height. For the men, somewhere in the middle to the high end of the BMI chart, depending on your build. If you're more slender, maybe the middle. If you're more built like me, maybe the high end of normal. Take the weight it gives you at your height. In that range of the BMI chart I just said. Go to your BMR calculator. Throw that in with your age and your sex. Male or female. There's no in between on this thing, right? And it'll spit you out a bunch of numbers. It'll spit out the BMR, which is you pretty much in a coma. And then it'll have like low activity and so on to high activity. A good starting calorie count, if you want to get aggressive, will be the BMR itself. Start there. Okay, start there. Now, if that even looks quite high and you're morbidly obese, go lower than that. You can even cut that in half. If you're some big dude like Bunny that commented earlier, he could probably cut his BMR into two. His BMR at 6'7" at his goal weight was literally like 2,800 calorie a day. Like if he feels good on like 14, like run it low if you're 500 pounds. The fatter you are, the more aggressive you can get. And that, my fat friends, is how you actually lose weight. And when you do that long enough, and eventually you will get slim doing that. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay? It's the truth. It's accurate. It's simple thermodynamics. It's math. It works. There's a trend. You can track it. Okay? And it doesn't matter what the hell you eat. But once you actually finally get really lean, your body's going to tell you what macros you're going to want on the day. You might have days where you actually crave a little more protein, a little less, whatever. And that is all you need to do, is get accurate, perfect accuracy on that calorie count and be able to hold a calorie count for a long period of time to lose all the fucking weight. Until next time, count the calories, you fat pigs.